What's on your mind?
Don't ever stop. Don't ever stop.
What do you think?
Okay, Ann. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I had just given you the weather report. I am going to make a joke about somebody else, and here I am doing it here this morning. In just a minute, I'm going to make a joke about somebody else. Yes, but I wanted to say congratulations, congratulations, congratulations to Mamie Nicholson for being the Greenwood Hall of Fame winner for this year. Such a well-deserved award. You know, it's not very often that we see people who have continually exceeded to give to Greenwood County in so many ways. Most of you out there probably at some point in your life have come in contact with Mamie, whether it's working on a project, helping different educational goals. I know we at Greenwood Performing Arts have been so blessed to be able to have worked with Mamie on the ME program, which stands for Music, Education, and Me, which is just great and has been able to be expanded because of the Self Family Foundation. But Mamie unto herself has just given so much to our community. And there is no better person, no more deserving person to get this award than Mamie Nicholson. So congratulations, Mamie, for a job well done. I know you will not just sit down now that you've gotten this award. You will continue on expanding and doing so many things that you've done for women here in Greenwood, for children here in Greenwood, all for the betterment of our community. And I know that Floyd couldn't be more proud of what Mamie has accomplished. What a powerhouse team they are and continue to be in our community. Thank you, Mamie, for what you have given to Greenwood. Certainly a deserving award to be inducted into the Greenwood County Hall of Fame, and that was yesterday during the Greenwood Chamber of Commerce annual meeting. So that's a big deal. That is a really big deal, and couldn't have been a better person. Lots of people are speaking out about the well-deserved honor, and certainly is. So let me add my voice to it, and if you didn't know about it, I hope that you will when you see her. Congratulations for all that she has done, continues to do for our community. So that's what I wanted to say about that. A job well done. And certain people just seem capable of doing this type of job. I think sometimes we think, wow, but everybody has their special skill set. And I think in life, it's finding where you fit. What is your special gift? I think we all have gifts. Some may have more gifts than other gifts, but we all have special gifts. And sometimes the hardest part is finding where you fit with the gifts that you have given and to be able to give those. And Mamie Nicholson certainly has found and has very special gifts. So I hope that she enjoys, soaks it all up and enjoys it so much because it is so well deserved. So that was a big highlight from yesterday. And I just wanted to say congratulations. Then moving on to last night's county council meeting. And I'm actually going to play parts of it. And if you are watching on Facebook, you actually will be able to see it. I decided that way, if people wanted to watch the clips that I pulled out, you'd be able to watch them. I didn't see any sense. I didn't see any sense in recording it and then playing it and this type of thing. So I'm just going to go live to the video, which is on YouTube. So if you want to go back and watch it at a later point. So launching right into county council meeting last night. Normally when county council sits down and there's a large crowd there, Theo Lane is excited to see the number of people that are involved in the process of being part of government. I can honestly say that I don't think he felt that way last night. Last night, there are some, the cameras panned the gallery, the room. It was packed. Now, we must say, I would say probably about 200 people there. I would also say, and that's just a rough estimate on my part. I did not sit there and count people. I was just giving a rough estimate. The whole room was packed. There probably were about 20, 25 employees that were there, county employees that were awarded all kinds of different awards last night. And some got multiple awards. One of the things that I did think was interesting is when Brad Cuttle was getting his award, they announced that he would be retiring. I believe it's April 1st. And of course, Brad has been instrumental out there at the Greenwood County Recreation Center, but he is retiring according to what was said. I believe it's April 1st. A little joke was made that he'd be working very hard in the next couple of months. So there you go. But lots of great awards, a lot of people, different departments, rising stars. I mean, they had all different levels of awards. They also mentioned those people who have been there for many, many years. There's quite a group that have worked at the county for anywhere from 10, 15, 20, 25, 28 years. So lots of good things in the meeting last night. However, as I said, in the beginning of the meeting, Theo was not happy. Theo Lane, the chair of county council, was not happy. And I think I'm going to, let's see, we've got a place where I can start this. Where does it start? Oh, yeah, that's the second page that I had there of my notes from last night. we're going to start and just see the crowd so you can see the crowd. And then I want to play what Theo said at the meeting, because I think it's important. I think that also important is the fact that while y'all know sometimes I don't turn my mic on and a few words sometimes are missed, but thankfully y'all always remind me to turn my mic on. Theo talked for about a minute and a half without his mic on. So we're not really sure what was said. So let's see if I can get it back here to where it was. Let's see, here we go. Let's see. Okay, if you go to if you're on Facebook Live, you actually will be able to see the crowd here. As you can see, it is a packed house, standing room only. And this is, of course, before it actually starts. I just wanted to do a shot of that so you could see the crowd that was there. Lots of interested people. They were going to be talking about another piece of property over there on Old Abbeville Highway, and you're going to hear all about it here in just a moment. Where does it start? 6. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We are getting ready. Here it is. All right.
County or any other with an expectation not to sell.
All right. Oh, let me do one thing, because I was playback speed. Just we want to do just regular. Where are we going? I should have done this last night. I'm sorry. Let's see. Maybe that's about right. Let's see.
Single family dwellings on larger parcels of land.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. I hope you're going to be able to hear this in just a second. Theo is getting ready to speak. And as you can see, you know how frustrating it is when I can't hear me. Well, it was frustrating not to hear all that Theo was saying.
Buyer needs. For some, that is historical R2 single-family dwellings on larger parcels of land. For some, that is not. That might be townhouses. That might be apartments. And the investment by builders will be dictated by market demands. No developer comes into our county or any other with an expectation not to sell and to lose money. Your county staff and council will be working on a new plan this spring, a new comprehensive plan. And I hope that all of you interested in the growth and development of our county will bring the same energy to that process that I'm seeing in what now appears to be an effort to object to almost any development that we're bringing forward to this council. A community that does not work to grow will die. As we work to bring economic development success to Greenwood County, an area in which we have thrived over the past 5 years, we lose if the employees filling those jobs do not choose to reside here with us. I want you to think about that for just a minute. We must have a diversified housing portfolio. In part, the comprehensive plan is designed to help do just that. Economic development in this county keeps your taxes low. You live in a county that has not imposed a millage increase on our taxpayers in 12 and a half years. I'm going to say that again, 12 and a half years. I challenge you to find another county in the state that can make that statement. So what I want you all to know is we work hard to balance these things for your benefit and on your behalf. This council appreciates and encourages our residents to come before us and express your opinions on all topics that come before us that we have the authority and oversight to carry out. In my time as chairman, I've gone out of my way, as has this council, to give latitude in how we receive public comment and certainly during periods of public hearings. But the tone and conduct of some of our recent county meetings have caused me to believe that my own personal nature and tendency to overlook what might in some cases be the public straying from proper decorum only invites further issues of that type. So while the public should have the opportunity to address your elected representatives always, that communication will be done in a manner that is within proper decorum and that council deserves and requires. Therefore, I'm going to take this moment to clarify several issues. Greenwood County Code 214 states that the chairman shall act as a presiding officer of the council. This requires me to direct and manage these county council meetings. During the past, but especially during my tenure as chairman, we have allowed communications, particularly between county council and members to the public, to be very casual. And I like it to be that way. But casual also demands that we be courteous. However, we seem to have entered a new era recently where I believe that similar cooperative spirits and members of our staff have somewhat been taken advantage of. This is not going to happen in these county council meetings. Therefore, what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay out for you the way I'm going to run these meetings going forward. First, everyone will receive 3 minutes to speak and deliver your comments, unless you are given additional time by the chairman. I don't like to cut people off in mid-sentence, and I will tend not to do that as long as I'm not hearing the same thing that I've heard 4 times before you. If you represent an organization or group of people who have the same thoughts, I would encourage you to have a spokesperson for that group. Second thing, you will address your comments to the chairman and not to specific council members. I will not tolerate any theatrics, including but not limited to attempts to incite attendees. I'm not going to tolerate people turning around and speaking to the crowd. I'm not going to tolerate any of that. So, no addressing the public audience. Any such behavior will forfeit your time to continue to speak. And I will immediately require you to sit down. Failure to adhere will result in your being removed from the meeting. If at any time a member of the public becomes unruly and fails to follow the directions of the chair, that person will be removed by law enforcement. We are not going to conduct ourselves in the manner in which we see other communities conducting themselves. We're going to conduct ourselves properly, and we're going to have cordial and respectful conversations. And we want to have those conversations. County council members will not ask questions, provide statements regarding the speaker's comments. The county chairman I will evaluate the need for more information, and certainly I will frequently ask council if they have specific questions, but any continued dialogue will be by their request. Everybody good with that? Okay, all right. Thank you for listening.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
just remind everyone tonight that, because I think a lot of people are here for the one in District 6, which is Old Abbeville Highway and Woodlawn Road, that this is first reading and title only. So we will welcome their comments, but they need to understand there will not be a vote on this tonight. Vote will come on the 17th. I want to make sure everybody was aware of that.
And that was my next order of business.
Sorry about that.
No. You're welcome to speak tonight. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got about 8 people that have signed up to speak, and you're welcome to speak. But this is first reading. So our public hearing will be held at our next council meeting, and I frankly would encourage you to save your comments for that point in time, because that's what it's designed for. But if you choose to speak tonight and speak again, you're welcome to. Okay? All right. Now let's go back to our normal business. Councilwoman Bishop, I believe you have our
Oh, okay. So that was Theo Lane's comments. Of course, he is the chairman of County Council. We're now going to proceed forward to the comments that people made, because I just think that the comments that people were making were very thoughtful comments. We may skip over 1 or 2, but basically this was the way I would think that one would want engaged people who are interested in what happens to their community. I understand Theo's frustration because this piece of property keeps being brought forward with different possibilities to make this happen. But I would think the very fact that people are engaged and care about what is happening in our community is a good thing. It seems to me that Theo was being a little defensive about the accomplishments of county council. We all realize that everybody is doing the best that they can in the situations, but a strategic plan that they have decided to work on this year is going to make a big difference. So without further ado, I want to go back to the meeting, and we are going to listen to the comments that they had. We are going to skip over all the awards, the great awards, and I'm sure there'll be a listing and they'll be on Facebook. They were taking lots of pictures and everything. So I would like to get back to who is speaking and what they have to say. First up is, I'll just tell you who's up. Marion Moore, Tina Escalon, Gail Harmon Marshall, Devin Amick, and then Theo has a comment back to what Devin says. Glenn, I think it was Colin and Sherry Lewis. But some of these first ones were very well thought out, and I thought very well to listen to. And you can watch it if you'd like. If you're on Facebook Live, you can actually follow along on Facebook Live or just listen to it on the radio. Either way, let's go ahead and start. Should be right
And
here.
state your name and address, please, for the record. You have 3 minutes.
I'm Marion Moore, live at 206 Johns Creek Road. This piece of property that we're talking about, it is really a big traffic issue, as I'm sure other people will do that. I've been a builder and developed property and everything, and this is a very desirable piece of property to build on. I think everybody in this room right here probably needs to realize this piece of property is going to get developed. But what Greenwood is tired of is this overcrowding and jamming these houses together, stripping the land off. And I happen to be personally affected by one of these subdivisions that have been started and has ruined my 9-acre pond. The developers need to learn that we can go back to a neighborhood look and you can make money. You can space these houses out. They don't have to be crammed together. And I think that's what everybody is tired of seeing in this town is developers coming here who have no tie to Greenwood other than just making this development and then getting out. And I think we need to ensure that these developments are done in a tasteful and look what's around them. Pay attention to what's around you. And just like Folly Bend, you could take a look at Folly Bend right beside there, and it is a very desirable subdivision. And you can space your houses out like that. Yeah, maybe the lot costs are going to be a tad more, but it would be more desirable, more aesthetic, and I don't think anybody could complain about that type of development. Thank you.
Marion, thank you. When you and I spoke, you had some points that I thought that you wouldn't be able to convey in 3 minutes. I thank you for that decorum. But I would encourage you, if you would care to, put those together, send them to Miss Susan. She'll get them to council members.
And I also, any of the council members, I'm easy to get in touch with. If you want to contact me, I've got some good ideas that you could use.
Thank you, Mr. Marion. Appreciate you. Ms. Tina Escalona. Name and address, please, for the record, Tina.
Certainly. My name is Tina Escalona. I currently live at 818 Johns Creek Road, but our family owns a farm at 713 Woodlawn, 3-acre parcel. Number one, thank all of our county employees. We're really grateful. As I said in the planning meeting before, we understand that you guys aren't particularly well compensated for the work and all of the effort that you put in on behalf of our county, and I know for a fact that we all are so appreciative of that. So I will skip ahead. I know that we wanted to speak tonight. We know that the hearing is going to be at the end of the month, but we want to convey how passionately we feel about this issue. Chairman, I wanted to address one thing that you had said earlier. It's not that we are anti-development for everything. It felt like you were very, very frustrated coming into the room tonight. And that's part of the reason we want to speak, is that we want to participate in the process. We want to understand, are you balancing the numbers of homes that are being abandoned and left or sold while people moving out of town with some of these lost jobs? We want to better understand the numbers and make sure that somebody is balancing that. We all know that if you overbuild in our area, it's going to decrease property values. We know that Old Woodlawn and Abbeville Highway are two-lane roads. It's going to take services to build those roads out. It's already dangerous. I submitted, and I don't know if you saw them or not, the statistics from the Highway Patrol saying how dangerous Woodlawn Road is already on a good day, clear day with absolutely no weather incidents or whatever. They have a higher proportion of accidents. Why? Because of the configuration of that road. Old Abbeville Highway is exactly the same way. So without weather or any other inclement, or any other adverse effects, you have a dangerous section. You have two-lane roads pumping more volume of traffic through that area than it probably should. I'm not an expert. We haven't seen the traffic study. But just because we are calling for you guys to slow down a little bit and say, these are our concerns. Are you looking at them? Explain them to us. That's not being aggressive. This is how the process should work. And it's disappointing. I don't want you to be aggravated, because this is how democracy works and this is what we should be doing. And for my final points, are you guys looking at or discussing the character of the builders as you partner with them and advocate for them? Because when you came in tonight and you talked about some of the things that you were discussing, hey, I want you to understand, millage, and that's an important point, but saying you guys don't want us to build out at all. No, during the last planning meeting, you only had one person show up for a very good proposal for a well-needed apartment complex. Everybody that was around me was, yeah, that's exactly what we need for our workers. This is not a good fit because of where it is, by the school. You have all of these individuals coming out onto these two-lane roads. It is a traffic hazard. It's a danger we can anticipate, and we want to challenge you to do that too. But it's not being disrespectful. It's participating in the process. So if I've offended anybody with my questions and my consistent questioning, I apologize, but I'm here to help, and for us to work together as a citizen group is a really good thing for Greenwood County. It really is.
Thank you, Tina. And let me say this, Tina. Yes, I do get frustrated sometimes, and I try not to show that frustration, but I'm as passionate as you all are about the growth and development of this county. I want it to be right. You know this about me. I'm a country boy. You know where I came from, right? So I want us to always balance our development. Thank you for coming tonight. Gay Marshall. Name and address, please, Miss Gay.
I am Gay Harmon Marshall. I live at 113 Heathwood Drive. I have lived and traveled the old Abbeville Highway my entire life. When I was born, my family lived on the old Abbeville Highway, kind of where Devon Park is, in that area. In 1965, my parents moved. We built a house, moved to 108 Pine Circle in Lakewood Heights. And then in 1991, I bought a house in Heathwood. I bought the house in Heathwood for a number of reasons. Wanted to be close to my parents. Heathwood, our lots are on average an acre or a little more. I think it's 59 houses in Heathwood. All are custom built. They don't look just alike, just painted a different color, or the garage on the right side versus the left side. So I've traveled that road all my life. And I think a lot of the people, most of the people that live on Woodlawn or Abbeville Highway, we bought that land because it's got a little bit of a country feel. we can get out. We have room to walk around and enjoy being out, not just on top of each other. Where some of these houses you can just barely get a lawnmower between the two houses to cut your grass. I realize this probably isn't totally accurate information, but yesterday, since I have so much time on my hands, I sat down and I went to greenwoodrealtor.com and I looked. It says that there are, as of yesterday, 355 houses on the market in Greenwood County, with the median listing price being $279,900. So then I went through picture by picture and I looked at each house that says new construction or to be built. And I actually listed it by location, street name. There are, according to what I added up yesterday, 125 new construction houses or houses to be built listed for sale on greenwoodrealtor.com. So that makes me wonder, really, why do we need like this development that's 107 houses? And we are fixing to have another issue in that area because if you go down Lawless Road, there is a piece of property on Lawless Road that was owned by the Bizards probably 30 years ago. The Bizards wanted to put a trailer park in there, and we fought that, and that got turned down by council. But that 28.74 acres on Lawless Road, which egresses into Woodlawn Road, it was in the property transfers Sunday. It sold to Keystone Properties for $800,000.
Gonna have to cut you off.
Okay,
Time's
well-
expired, but thank you.
Okay.
That's correct.
Having trouble reading. Who lives at 713 Chicken Pen? Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Again, having trouble. Is it Deslin or Dexlin?
Devlin
Devlin?
Amex.
Come forward, please, sir. Name and address for the record, please.
Devlin Amex. I live at 115 Langley Road. Also grew up on 806 Old Abbeville. That's still my parents' place, well as to all our family now. First off, I spoke last time. I'm going to use some of the same points. I've got some more. But first off, I'm against any rezoning or development in this area. I've lived in this area 53 years of all my life. We in the area don't want this kind of growth. I understand what you were saying earlier about what we need in growth, but there's growth all over Greenwood County. I'll point that out some more. I said last time, and I'll say again, this is Greenwood, emphasis on wood, not Greenville, not Simpsonville, or any other town like that. We don't want this clumped together building. Rezoning and development will increase the traffic on Old Abbeville, Woodlawn, and Langley Road, which is already real busy, people cutting through from Calhoun to the Abbeville Highway 72, and other areas and other little roads in that area that can't handle what we already have. Let's see, we have the growth that's on Calhoun or 225 in that corner there, and also off of right beside Harris Mill Village. There's also some other, at least 6 more developments around that I'm hearing. A lot of Greenwoodians don't want this type of growth. Once again, she pointed out several things that sounded, pretty good as far as the land mass. So most of our area is R1, R2 neighborhoods, which I learned last time that is in the county is smaller tracts than it is in the city, which does not make sense to me. If you develop like the surrounding area, like he was talking about Folly Bend and whatnot, you're looking at 60 homes, maybe in that area, which I can live with. Once again, Folly Bend, same way. There are areas in Greenwood that buildings should be torn down, or that should be, or might develop in that way, in that area, some dilapidated buildings. As far as employment growth in our area, we're losing more industry than we're gaining. I was 31 years, worked out at Monsanto, Solutia Ascent. And, you know, they've closed down. And then also now Tejean. Here's a point that I thought of, that y'all were all elected by Greenwood County, voters in Greenwood County, and you're expected to vote like we would like for y'all to vote. You know, not just for like the investors from out of town, you know, for growing like this. Need to listen to all of us that voted for you. My final point is, how is electrical grid supposed to keep up with all these new growths and homes in our areas when we were just asked to reduce our power usage during the storms, the snowstorm and the ice storm? And I'm sure it's going to come up again. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I would encourage you, if you have an opportunity, to talk to Mr. James Bateman about the economic development successes in Greenwood County over the last 5 years. Just so you know, those industry closings that you talk about, we have replaced all of those jobs, and we're about 400 plus. And in the last 36 months, we brought $1.5 billion worth of new investment to the county. So that's, your comment was not accurate, but James can give you details on that. Okay, Jeff Wash. Is it Wash?
Yes, I'll postpone to public hearing.
Thank you, Jeff. Glenn Colin?
He's now making his way to the podium here, so it's taking just a minute. I hope you're finding this as interesting as I am.
119 Meadowbrook. I don't live anywhere near this place. I'm just here to support my fellow residents. But I wanted to apologize to council. I got a wee bit of Irish in me, and when I saw this come up again, I got really, really angry because we just defeated one rezone, and now he wants to go to something where he could put up townhomes, you know, make it even more congested. So I got really hot, and so I apologize. Apologize to you, Carol. So I'm sorry about that.
Thank you for that.
I'm Irish, so. But yeah, the guy brought up a good point about the power grid. So that's really all I wanted to say, and sorry.
Thank you.
You're a gentleman. Thank you, sir. The last, and I have absolutely no clue, but if you haven't spoken, I cannot read that at all. I'm going to have to start having Susan print these beneath. It looks like, is it Sherry? Sherry? Thank you, Miss Sherry. Come forward.
You're not the first person that says I have horrible handwriting.
It's not worse than mine.
I work for an attorney, so I have to read his handwriting, and I pay him back for that. Thank you for your time. I'm sorry. Sherry Lewis. I live at 616 Old Abbeville Highway, which will be directly across from the entrance of what Beasley's trying to do, which would be 614, I think is the way it's listed. And just a fun fact from this morning, I know someone's already addressed the traffic issue, so I won't say, but one thing about that, this morning I was sitting in my window, and I hear cars go by starting at 5 a.m. anyway, you know, all morning long. But I said, you know, I'm just going to sit here and count all the cars that go by in between from 7 o'clock until I want to stop. So from 7 a.m. to 7:32, I counted cars, 263 cars in front of my house right now.
I believe it.
That does not include what was at the other end that I could not see that would have turned for the school and everything that went on road. So that was just a little fun fact. I want to throw that out there. I did send in some paperwork. I think y'all probably already have it. And thank you again for taking the time to read and look over that. So I will just say one part of the conclusion here for this. I do want you to deny the approval for the zoning change. I'm not opposed to them building houses. It's just I don't see the need for a zoning change. I don't understand going from R2 to MP4, I think is what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I don't think people understand the difference between the two. So if that could be explained, I would appreciate that for the crowd. I want to require comprehensive traffic impact studies, which I think Ms. Carroll alluded to that probably will be done. And I want to thank Ms. Carroll for all her hard work. I don't know how she does it and answers the phone and I just don't know how she does it at all. But thank you, Miss Carroll, if I can say that.
Thank you.
Conduct thorough environmental and infrastructure assessments. You are doing the hearings, that kind of thing, so you can scratch number 4 now. And consider alternative development plans that are appropriate to the scale consistent with existing neighborhood density. That is a big issue, in my opinion. And in conclusion, while we recognize the need for housing and growth in Greenwood, which I think everyone here does, we believe that the responsibility of the development must balance growth with the protection of the existing residents' quality of life, safety, and community character. The community character on Old Abbeville Highway and Woodlawn Road is just precious. It really is. As proposed, just Beasley only, I don't think that it strikes that balance, in my personal opinion. And I also think that the rezoning is going to allow other, like, there's 2 other things that have already been sold just since all this started, which will fall under this zoning. Who knows what they're going to do? I will say Beasley is trying to do the trees around there, and that's okay. But don't put as many. I agree with everybody else on that. So safety is my biggest concern, and that's all I'll say.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, that ends the period of public comment. We will now move into presentations.
Okay, so that was, I thought, a most interesting part of the whole conversation. You know, you're listening to the I Love Ann show with me, Ann Eller, right here on WCRS Radio. Do you have any comments or questions? 864-332-9355. That's 864-332-9355. I think that, in my opinion, this is what government should be, regardless of how Chairman Theo Lane felt about it. I think that people are engaged. People are going to planning meetings, zoning, rezoning. All these type of things shows a caring about our community. And I certainly think this should not be snuffed out, or should people be on the defense about things that people are questioning. I would rather have an engaged community than to have a passive community that all of a sudden wakes up one day and says, oh, well, this happened and nobody did anything, and have our county council members say nobody cared. And so we did, quote, the best we could. By taking all this information in and answering all the questions, traffic is going to be an issue. And one of the things that comes up later in the meeting is should some of the rezoning that they keep trying to redo, would it be better to have left the zoning where it was? They do get into a big discussion about how many houses one type of zoning does versus another type of zoning. And so I think this is such an important topic. People should stay engaged, and regardless of how Chairman Theo Lane feels about it, it is a good thing when the public is engaged and that they are looking at what is being done. And there was one important point. The people elected you to office. That does not mean that you get to do what you want. It is supposed to be that you listen to your constituents and try to field and understand. And there's a lot of misunderstanding about a lot of the stuff that's going on. So therefore, clarification is what is needed. 355 homes for sale, 125 under new construction or to be built, with an average price of $279,000 tells you a lot about what the market is right now. You are seeing more houses on the market. People have waited and have decided it is a good time to sell, and then we have builders who are building here. Quality developments, I think, are important. After all, the character of Greenwood and the quality of the homes that have been built here over the years, it all really started with the mill villages. Those were quality built homes. Today, those homes are still well valued. And there is discussion about what is the type of housing that Greenwood needs. So while I can appreciate Theo Lane's comments in the very beginning, I think that he should appreciate the fact that people are there and that they are engaged and that they are from all walks of life in our community, and that is great. So that's all I want to say about that. They did go on and talk about safe streets for pedestrians and bike trails. That is something that is still moving forward. We don't really have a lot of time to talk about that, but I did want to say that is a really kind of an exciting project as far as what's happening there. I found it very interesting last night to find out that between 96, between 96 and Hodges, we have 21 miles that could be developed, and that for bike trails and pedestrian and whatnot, and that is pretty huge from the gentleman that was there talking about the development. They say when they go into areas, they look for at least 10 miles, and we between 96 and Hodges have 21 miles of potential development. And when the 21 miles bodes very well because of the potential for tourism to come into our area, where people would come and spend the day riding trails and looking at all the things. So there's a lot of good things happening in Greenwood. And it is important that we all get involved in parts of it. So again, I commend all the people that came to the meeting, all the people that came just for support, didn't speak. I mean, as you can see, there was quite a group there, and so that's cool. All right. So they'll be dealing with that in 2 weeks. They will have another meeting about that, and I'm sure we will be talking about that again. Just wanted to let y'all see that, and I thought it was very interesting. Code enforcement guy, Kevin, I don't know what Kevin's last name is, certainly got a lot of awards last night. He's only been on the job a year, and he got several awards. Thought that was interesting too. All right, so we talked about in the very beginning, we talked about Mamie Nicholson and the Greenwood Hall of Fame. Such a great honor for her, and so well deserved. Also, they wanted to remind you the food fight is coming up. Food fight is already ongoing, and that ends on February 19th. Instead of a county to the city, I didn't realize it was a county council versus city council. So they want everybody to get involved and help the two win on that. They said the next county council meeting, I believe, is on the 17th? Yes, on the 17th, which is 2 days before the meeting. If you're going to the meeting, how about bring food? They also wanted to commend all the different organizations that are out there collecting. The Hodges Fire Department, Tammy Baber and crew up there got a big mention about what they're doing to fight the good fight. So congratulations just to be mentioned and to know that that is out there. Other things coming up. I did want to talk about It's not really going to be national news or state news. I tell you what I am thinking, though, this afternoon. I think I do not have a guest, but it may be Ann Eller, political pundit, right here, 5 to 6. I have so many topics I want to get to, and I just don't seem to have the time to get to them on the morning show. So this afternoon, we may be talking about state politics more than, even more than national, but more state politics, although I'll update you on any news drops that happen. So 5 to 6 this afternoon, tune in for me, starring with me. On Meet Me at the Diner, 5 to 6 this afternoon. Some interesting things happening down at the state government. Some of them I don't even understand, but I'm going to attempt to put it out there so maybe you can help me make sense of it. If you got any questions or comments here before us, 864-332-9355. We are going to take a quick commercial break before I come back and tell you about a few things that I think are important events and whatnot happening in our community. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. And I will say, here, let's go to the commercial view. There's no sense in having to watch Ann's mug while we're doing this. Okay, here we go. Let's go to a few ads that say it all right here on WCRS. Let's see. If you got a question or a comment, give me a call. Hello! Want to leave a voice message during a show? Have a news tip or event to report? Use the new WCRS tip line, 864-332-9355. Text or voice, I'll be sure to get it right here on WCRS. Again, 864-332-9355.
The Harley Family Center is the perfect location for small memorial services or small gatherings after a service. Reservations are also available for birthday parties, showers, family gatherings, business meetings, and more. They have everything on hand, whether you want to have your event catered or handle it yourself. Know they are there to help cover every aspect you desire. For more info, call Rick Brewer at 864-229-3300. That's 229-3300. The Harley Family Center, 1101 Main Street South, Greenwood.
This February, let your heart decide at the Greenwood YMCA. New members will get to pick a heart and discover their special YMCA perk. Will it be a free month or zero joiner's fee? Either way, your heart wins. From group fitness and family fun to healthier habits and stronger communities, the Y is where you belong. Visit the Greenwood YMCA or join online today. The Y, there's no place like this place.
Are you the owner of or have an interest in real estate, whether a house or open farmland, along with multiple people who have not helped you pay any property tax or assisted in maintaining the property in 10 years or more? Maybe the property is listed in the names of deceased grandparents and other family members ignore your pleas for assistance in maintaining the property. The law office of Randall Roselle Williams can help relieve the burden of carrying the load by yourself and obtain the fairness that you deserve. I can help you place the title to your property in the names of the proper person or person. The success of each case is dependent, however, upon the facts unique to your situation. Call me, Randall Roselle Williams, at 864-227-9156 to schedule an appointment to discuss your case. The law office of Randall Roselle Williams is a solo practice located at 110 Riley Avenue, Greenwood.
Sign up today. You could win a Dairy Queen Valentine ice cream cake for someone you love. Just go to WLMA-WCRSradio.com/Valentine with your name and who you want to surprise. Winners announced on Valentine's Day from Dairy Queen and WCRS.
I'm little but I'm loud, dangerous, proud. I don't really care if people stop and stare. Little but I'm loud. I ain't fooling around.
Oh, that That's right, we're talking about me. Hey, how you doing here this morning? I'm Ann Eller. Voice is almost back, so that's a good thing. Hey, and I didn't know how you liked my new harmonica playing. I'm working on it, folks. Someday I'm going to be great, and you're going to say, yeah, she used to talk on the radio. Now all she does is play the harmonica. She's a harmonica fool. Maybe. Yes, that's me right here on WCRS Radio. Do want to remind you, sign up for the Dairy Queen ice cream cake, red velvet ice cream cake giveaway. Sign up that you love yourself and you want to win a discount on your birthday, and sign up to win the cake. 2 ways to win. Just go ahead and do it. You'll be glad you did. It's all from Dairy Queen, and you know they make the very best ice cream cakes. All right, now moving on to just a few things that I want to make sure that we get to this morning. This is really, really, really important. This is really important. This is important. Do you see my important face? Yes, this is important. State Supreme Court Chief Justice to speak at Lander tomorrow evening. It's going to host the Honorable John W. Kittredge, Chief Justice of the South Carolina Supreme Court, Thursday, February 5th at 5:30 at the Abney Cultural Center Auditorium. He will serve as the inaugural speaker for Lander's newly established Curtis G. Shaw Pre-Law Society. This program is free and open to the public. Now, you might say, what is the new society at Lander? The Curtis G. Shaw Pre-Law Society is named after late Judge Shaw, a native of Greenwood, a veteran of the U.S. Army, and an attorney who served as a city court judge, probate judge, and master in equity for South Carolina's 8th Judicial Circuit. Shaw was elected as Chief Judge of the South Carolina Family Court for the 8th Circuit and subsequently elected to the 1st South Carolina Court of Appeals as a senior judge. He served with distinction on the South Carolina Judicial Merit Commission and received the Order of Palmetto, the state's highest civilian honor. Judge Shaw's son-in-law, Representative John R. McCravey of Greenwood, serves as the founder of this society. So the Shaw Pre-Law Society will enhance Lander's ability to provide professional development opportunities for pre-law students, and activities will be coordinated by Lander's pre-law advisor, David D'Amato, assistant professor of legal studies and political science. So graduates of Lander have a strong record of acceptance in schools of law throughout the country. And so this is a very cool program which is starting, and it's very cool that Judge Kittredge will be joining and unveiling this program, Chief Justice Kittredge. So there'll be a reception to honor Chief Justice Kittredge. Will follow the program. And so I just wanted to mention this and say that if you would like to attend, they would love for you to attend. That is tomorrow, Thursday, February 5th at 5:30. I'm going to tell you at 5 o'clock tomorrow, we will be interviewing Alan Wilson, our state's attorney, and who is also running for governor. We will be interviewing him 5 to 5:30. So I hope to get off the air and run over there and be part of this. I would love to get some sound to be able to bring that to you for Friday morning if you're not going to be able to go to it. Or if you go to it, I hope to see you there. But that is a big, big honor, and kudos to John McCravey for putting this together. Of course, his wife is Dana Shaw McCravey. So there you go. Nice event. Anyways, wanted to mention that. That would be a good one to attend. Other things going on. Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about a few other events first, and then we will talk about. This is an excellent event that is coming up. Lakeland's Community Connections. Parents Feedback Meeting. This is for parents of school-age children and parents of dependent adults with disabilities. When? February 17th from 6 to 7 at the main YMCA here in Greenwood on Calhoun Road. Join us to help shape how this new organization can support families in our community. They are saying that they are excited about this. Laura Paget is the one heading this program up. That's 2 weeks from yesterday. Any parent of a school-age child with a disability or a parent of a dependent adult is invited to join us for this very important feedback meeting. So this is very, very, very cool. I hope that if you are in that situation, you will put this on your calendar. It is February 17th, which is a Tuesday from 6 to 7 at the YMCA. It certainly will be a meeting to be part of. Other things that are going on. There is so much this weekend. Of course, the Art Center is having the Battle of the Artists. That's a big program right there that's going on. And let's see, I had a couple other things I know I wanted to talk about. Oh, maybe I'm on the wrong page. Is that my problem? The Daughter Dance is going to be going on at Emerald this Friday night. $30 for a family, $30 for a family. It's going to be a fun event. I hope everybody that gets out, you don't have to go to Emerald to be there. You don't have to go to Emerald to be there. But I hope you will see about taking and going to that. That would be an excellent one to go to. So, what else do I have going on here? I have more, but I want to talk about this. Where is my, let's see. First, let's check this right here. Anything else coming in here this morning? Have we got anything else there? Nope. All right. Now, let's move on and talk about this because I found this most interesting. Here we go. We will have the local lineup for what? Oh, and for what? For Local Focal will start sometime this afternoon. They've got lots of good events coming on, but I wanted to talk about February 4th on the National Calendar Day. Here you go. This is it is an interesting day. It's National Homemade Soup Day. It's National Hemp Day, which there's a big discussion going on down there at the State House. So I thought that most of should be something that should be mentioned. National Sweater Day and Thank a Mail Carrier Day. Thank a Mail Carrier Day. They are the bane of a lot of us. A lot of us have known mail carriers for years and years, and those mail carriers that are on the same route become like part of your family. You know, they care about that your mail gets there, et cetera, et cetera. So I wanted to do a shout out to the mail carriers particularly of Greenwood County, for all the efforts and all that they go through. They certainly have. There are those that are very, very committed, and there are those that aren't. So, you know who you are. We know who the committed ones are. Yes, we do. Now, there is one other thing that I thought most interesting on this day that you might not know about if you don't listen to this show. For example, did you know, back in 1789, George Washington is unanimously elected as the first president of the U.S. That was 1789. Did you know? In 1824, J.W. Goodrich introduces rubber galoshes to the public for sale. Now, that's a little known fact that many people didn't know, and galoshes certainly aren't the rigueur. But there was a time when having a pair of galoshes was quite a status symbol. All right, let's see. Here we go. 1899, the Philippine-American War between America and the Philippines begins. And did you know the USO was created to entertain American troops in 1941 on this date? It always amazes me. You know, I know you guys probably think, why does she do this? Because it amazes me on what inane days, February 4th, that, for example, the USO was created to entertain troops. Who knew this? Nobody. But now you do, and we're glad you do. All right, what else did I have? In 1957, the first electric portable typewriter is put on sale in New York. And you might find this one interesting. 1991, Alex Trebek becomes the first person to host 3 game shows at once: Jeopardy!, Classic Concentration, and To Tell the Truth. I do not remember Classic Concentration. And in 2004, Facebook is founded by Mark Zuckerberg and Eduardo Saverin. So how about that? That was 2004. And look at the rabbit hole we've gone down since that time. 2004 on this date. What do you think about that? I think that is pretty awesome. So let me see if there's anything else I want to share with you before I give it up. And like I said, I think I'm going to come back this afternoon. You'll have to watch for it. I'll be posting, or just stay tuned right here on WCRS. But I want to talk about some of the things that are happening right here in our community. So if you are interested and want to know what's going on, not so much in our community, but in the state, then I think that you should stay tuned and be part of the discussion we're going to have. This thing with judicial reform, and a couple of other things that I've been trying to get to these stories on the morning show. I finally said, I'm not going to be able to do it, but I think I can do a special show this afternoon. So what else is going on? Wednesday, February 4th, from 4:30 to 6:30, they're having at Flynn's a cozy winter sip and savor. This is a drop-in tasting. You do not need reservations. Enjoy 4 wine samples, a pour of your favorite, and small bites, $15 per person. They're calling it Cozy Winter Sip and Savor, and that is on Flynn's. I thought that sounded like a lovely thing to do. Also, you can at Chick-fil-A send a cowgram to your Valentine. What's included? A rose, a Chick-fil-A tumbler, 3 free food cards, a dessert, personalized card, delivered by Mr. Cow on Friday, February 13th. Price is $50. So a cowgram, 3 free food cards, a tumbler, a rose, and dessert, and a personalized card. What could be better than to get a cowgram from Chick-fil-A? So I wanted to tell you about that. Also, Emerald City Rotary Club is doing a drive for the Humane Society of Greenwood. This donation is to support the Greenwood Humane Society and the animals that they care. During the colder months, the shelter is especially in need of blankets and towels to help keep animals warm and comfortable. Donations can be brought to any club meeting or can be picked up by Sarah Jane Shire. Thank you for helping us show some extra love and care for our local animal shelter. That's another good one. Doge SC. We're going to be talking about Doge SC this afternoon, and it's about family court. This is something, the thing about our state government, like I said, I'm not getting into it this afternoon. They talk about a lot of things, and in truth, sometimes they just don't get a lot done. And when they start out with a good direction, they end up watering it down so that it becomes something that is just not as powerful as what it could have been. So I want to do that. And, a couple of weeks ago, well, actually the first week in January, we sat down with Senator Billy Garrett. We also sat down with Representative John McCravey and talked about what they hope to see. If I have a chance, I'm going to review some of that. And who knows, I may pull some clips from that. The daddy-daughter dance is February 6th at Emerald High School. There are several of them around there. I just know this one is this Friday from 6 to 10 p.m. at Emerald High School at the new gym. $30 per family at the emeraldathletics.net. This is going to be a big fun event. They want everybody to come out. $30 per family can be purchased. So find out more about that with emeraldathletics.net, emeraldathletics.net. And there is a Greenwood Mill Village community meeting Tuesday, February 10th. Please, it says you're invited to the Greenwood Mill Village community meeting. Join us for an important community conversation about the future of the Greenwood Mill Village. We'll be discussing the initiative to add the neighborhood to the National Registry of Historic Places, what it means, how the process works, and the benefits to residents. Representatives from the South Carolina Department of Archives and History will be on hand to answer questions and share insight. Most importantly, this meeting is a chance for your voice to be heard. Look, they want people to speak. As we explore this exciting opportunity together, it will be at the Arts Center Tuesday, February 10th at 6:30. Neighbors, homeowners, and community members, everyone is welcome. Come learn and ask questions and be part of shaping the future of the Greenwood Mill Village. Also, today, Wednesday, 2/4, from 11 to 4, join us at the Burton Center to support local food trucks. There is going to be Sunshine Soda Shack, Cosmic Campagnas, and Smoky Grays will be there too. So if you'd like to go out and find out where some food trucks are, that's a good one right there. And in closing, was there one more that I had? No, I think that is about it. I would be interested if you're going to be watching the Super Bowl this Sunday, and are you going to be watching the halftime show, or are you going to be watching Turning Point USA's alternate halftime show? This is going to be a streaming show. We'll have some more details for you, but Kid Rock is going to headline along with a lot of other people too. So I just thought I would mention that. But in closing, I wanted to mention, I saw this post. I thought this was so cool. This is today's Celebrating Our Heritage from '96 and the musical genius of Odine Pope. Now, I am not familiar with this man, and I am pretty familiar with music in our area, so I was very glad to see this. As we move through Black History Month, we continue to honor the soil of South Carolina, the red clay of '96, and the vibrant community of Greenwood. Our history is a symphony composed of resilience and carried from the porches of our small towns to the grandest stages in the world. African Americans have been the heartbeat of the upstate's culture. From the fields of labor to the heights of international jazz, our contributions are the soul of South Carolina's story. And Odine Pope, he was a man who proved that a small town beginning can lead to world-class legacy. Born right here in '96 to musical parents, Odine Pope grew up to become one of the most innovative tenor saxophonists in the history of jazz. The roots of greatness, Though he moved to North Philadelphia at age 10, the spirit of South Carolina never left his music. He studied at the Randolph School of Music, honing his talent that would soon catch the ears of legends. He had an I can moment at age 17. The iconic John Coltrane asked Odine to take his place in a band. When Odine hesitated out of youth and doubt, Coltrane gave him the mantra that would define his life. Never say that. Always say, you can do something. That is so awesome. The innovator, Odine, went on to play behind giants like James Brown, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder. He later founded the world-renowned Saxophone Choir, an ensemble of 9 saxophones that changed the texture of jazz forever. Odine Pope said that he believes that the journey of discovery never ends, no matter where you come from. Every time I pick up the horn, this is a direct quote, up there's always something that I discover I can do differently if I really seek. There is no end. I think that is so awesome. And so I wanted to celebrate and bring this to your attention because I don't know how many people know Odine Pope. But what was that? Rock Creek, who was it? Pleasant Rock Creek Church posted that, and I just wanted to say that is so awesome and something I didn't know. So every day you can learn something new right here on the I Love Ann show. That's going to do it for me today. Penny is about to starve over here. She's fallen over on the floor being very dramatic this morning. She says, I want to take over the mic here and just get us off the air because there are important things for me, like food. Anyways, have a great day. I hope you tune in I hope I do the show. I got to get my stuff together, but I think it could be an interesting show about a state house review about what is happening. There is so much happening. Don't forget, tomorrow morning we will have Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evett as she chases on her run for governor for the great state of South Carolina. Then we will follow it up tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock with Alan Wilson, State's Attorney Alan Wilson, who is also in the battle for the governor for the great state of South Carolina. There's been some mud will be slung, and mud has been slung. We'll be talking about it. Hope you'll be here, right here on WCRS Radio. That's it for me. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. Let me know what you're thinking. This is WCRS Radio. Bye-bye.